Hey, welcome to video number 167 of Walker This Way with Hazel Walker, the queen of all things.
BNI and networking.
I am Mark Simmons. I lost track. I had to look at what number we're on. We've done so many now.
I know.
So Hazel, we did a couple videos ago, number 165 on engaging visitors. And that was about when you're having a BNI meeting and the visitors in the room, they're the most important people in the room and making sure they're engaged. And you've been a visitor, I've been a visitor, and there's many people who've been visitors before.
Yeah.
And something that happens after the meeting, as far as visitor engagement goes, it's kind of funny. I'm going to show you what happens. You ready? I have a graphic,
Okay.
old school graphic. Here it comes. That's a cricket. Crickets.
Do we send
Nothing.
crickets after them?
You don't send them after them. It's not like the plague or anything, but that's what they hear. They get crickets. Nothing.
Nothing.
Done.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, even if they do engage, so even those chapters that are good at engaging during the meeting, forget that you have to continue to engage with them after the meeting.
Yeah.
Right? If that is assuming you do want them to apply. If you're not interested in them applying, that's okay. And I know a chapter that I went to in Sydney, Australia. It's called All About Business. It's a very large chapter, very, very successful chapter. A lot of very successful people in it. But this is how they managed visitors. They had a very large visitor host team, like 14 people on it. And a visitor host was assigned to every visitor. And that visitor host walked every visitor around the meeting and introduced them and things. And talked to them and asked questions of the visitor to make sure they could introduce the visitor to the right people. Showed them their seats, all of that. Then the visitor host and the membership committee would come together after the meeting and decide who they're following up with. Like, who are we going to ask to apply? Not just come back and visit again. We're going to ask them to apply. They had an opportunity to meet them. They had an opportunity to see that they would be a good fit for the chapter. So they even start their interview process right as the first day a visitor walked in. And then they called every visitor, thanked them for visiting. The ones they really wanted, they asked them to apply, say, hey, we loved meeting you. We've had a conversation and we would like to ask you if you would be interested in applying to our chapter. So that person felt really special. Even if you're going to ask everyone to apply, that person felt special because they felt like you already wanted them. And that chapter was really good. And they still are really good at engaging their visitors, not just the first time they visit, but after they're gone out of the room.
Right.
Right. And that's the key.
I think a lot of times what happens in the chapters, well, it's not, I think I know, is after the meeting, they're like, oh, well, they didn't put in an application, so they're done. They're never going to apply. Here's the problem. As much as in weekly presentations, we know that a lot of times members, the one thing they don't do is their ask in a weekly presentation. They forget the ask, who I am, what I do, but they don't ask for business, and then they don't get anything. In BNI, you get to ask for what you need and you get it. If you don't ask, you don't get. And we don't ask visitors to apply. Even during the meeting, we would love for you to put in an application, or after. We don't even do the ask. And
We
it's
would
just
love to be
simple.
able to give you referrals. We would love to have you in our group.
Right.
We would like to walk you through the application process and take a look at how you might fit well with our team.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are reluctant to stay engaged, and staying engaged after the meeting is okay. When I was a visitor host, I did a one-to-one with every visitor.
Right.
Every visitor, because we'd have 2-3 visitors a week. So I had 2 or 3 one-to-ones with visitors every week, because I didn't just want them to apply to our chapter. I wanted to get them into my business. I wanted to find out if they had referrals or if they had any needs. But the first thing I wanted to do was find out if they had any questions about BNI that I might be able to answer. And that would be the start of our conversation. How did you like our meeting? Did you have any questions whatsoever that I could help you with? Are you interested in applying for membership? And, they would tell me, no, I don't really want to apply because blah, 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 blah. Or yeah, I really would like to apply. How do I do that? Right. So they'd have that question. And no matter which way we went, I could continue the conversation about their business and my business.
And the chapter that you referenced, who does an amazing job of meeting, having discussions, being really intentional about what their plan is going to be. They're running their chapter like they run a business.
They actually treat that chapter. They even have a board of, because it's a very big chapter. So they have their leadership team and they created a board of directors. And that board of directors is I think they said it was like a 2-year hold. A person was on it for 2 years and then someone else would come on to the board. But that board really took hard looks at, they did treat it. It was a business. That chapter was a business.
And we know, and that's what we know is the chapters that are successful treat their chapters and run their chapter like they would a business or their own business, as opposed to running a club where we're all friends, we're all great people, let's hug it out all the time. And make subjective decisions on many things. Yet, if you're running a chapter as a business, then that visitor, as you know, is your client.
They're a potential client right there, and they're a source of more potential clients.
Right, and so when you're looking at your own business, would you have one meeting with a potential client and then ghost them? I'm done with them now.
Yeah, they didn't
Probably
say
not.
yes the first time. I'm not, but it takes 7 times before people will actually make decisions.
Yeah, they got to
Right?
know that you
constantly
exist in the world and then take action with you. And
they have to, and it's the other reason why I say to chapters, when you're having visitor days, this is when you want your chapter to be at its most professional and engaging time. And for some reason, chapters think when they have visitor days, it should be like a party. Like, we've had chapters that have Vegas days. And I've got a chapter now talking about having a St. Patrick's Day theme. Well, unless you're going to call every single visitor in advance and tell them that you're going to do that, it's a really bad.
yes,
It's a bad decision because it makes you look like a club and not. Now I'm making a decision to be a member of a social club, not being a member of a business group.
yeah, and you feel left out. It's, if you've ever shown up to the you didn't get the message that today's not a costume party.
Yeah.
And you show up in your costume and everybody's dressed in their normal clothes.
Yeah. And that's kind of the conversation I have to have, is like, are you going to let everyone know and all your visitors know? And there's the other part, Mark, but we haven't even talked about. The other part of following up is the day they register.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the day we pick up the phone and say, hey, got your registration, really excited. If we're meeting in person, we would say, do you have any allergies or anything we need to know about, because we're going to have breakfast? Or what's your profession? I would like to seat you next to someone that's really going to be able to help you. Right? So it starts from the moment they register.
Yeah.
The pre-conversation.
So here's the truth bomb. I'm going to drop a loving truth bomb. Okay. You cannot say we want our chapter to grow and on the other side, not follow up.
Yeah.
You're not going to say, if you're not going to do the action items, follow up consistently with your visitors before, during, after, then don't on the other side come back and say, well, I don't understand why our chapter is not growing. That's why it's not growing.
And you can't leave it to just a few members. Everybody has a role in the follow-up.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed meeting you today. Like, I sent cards out. I really enjoyed meeting you today. I look forward to meeting you again.
Right.
Right. And I've had people say, I joined because of that card you sent.
Yeah.
It was important. It meant I felt wanted.
So there's lots of different things we can do, but doing nothing will get you nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. So members, there's so much you can do. You don't have to do everything, but the follow-up for your visitors is key. Follow-up for your referrals is key. We cannot stress enough the follow-up. As Ivan says, the fortune's where? Everybody.
in the follow-up.
in the follow-up.
Yep.
All right, so Hazel, you and I will follow up on this one. Until
We
next
will.
time,
Bye.
bye.